this gangsta. And it's the wonderful things I get. Hello.
Hey, if you're new to this channel and enjoying the content, take a moment to subscribe and join us. Thank you. Yo, alright, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, great big Star Wars fan. Nice to have you with me. It is December the 19th, 2018. Alright, we are at this moment straddling the line between Discord and Rhyme. As the great Duran Duran said 30 years ago, how prescient they were. Right now, we are 1 year has passed. A little more than 1 year has passed since the release of The Last Jedi, and then the whole world caved in. This year has been a year of tumultuous nonsense. It has been a strange year of discontent for Star Wars fans and belligerent accusations, crazy recrimination from Lucasfilm and Disney towards those fans who were unhappy with The Last Jedi. 1 year ago, Last Jedi was released, and basically more than half of the audience, according to Rotten Tomatoes, has struggled with this movie's existence and its message ever since. People have stopped being interested in Star Wars fans. The rest of us wrestle with the ineptitude and cynicism of that movie. And what its larger implications are for Star Wars and this hobby, this franchise, this story, this ongoing story that we have loved so much. It's almost as though it were better off left where it was. I mean, all of us fantasized about what would have happened to Han Solo and Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker in the future. We should have let those answers, I think we would have rather have left those answers to better men than the ones that we have over at Lucasfilm right now, who are actually answering those questions in a way that makes people sad. Now, we're also exactly 1 year away from the release of Star Wars Episode 9. Star Wars Episode 9 comes out December 19th, 2019, and I will be there. I'm going to try to get in there a day early, like a smarty pants. Some of you are going to be even smartier smarty pants, and you'll get in there a week ahead of me. You'll have your reviews out there. There will be glowing reviews, just like there were for Solo, a Soy Wars story, that catastrophe that followed up on The Last Jedi just 5 months later. Some of you got to see that a week early and offered glowing reviews, and look how that turned out. Now, in the wake of all of this turmoil, in the wake of all of this discontent, I would say, we have had arguments between Lucasfilm and the shills of Lucasfilm, and they don't like to be called shills. They're like, we're not on the payroll. Well, maybe not in money, but we'll get into that. And the fans who, are reacting extremely negatively to what Lucasfilm is doing, what Star Wars is doing. We have been documenting that. I've certainly offered my own opinions from time to time as a fan of this franchise. And then we have had these media shills come after the fans and invent a term that is so incredibly weird. I mean, so incredibly odd that it bears scrutiny. That term is called toxic fandom. Toxic Star Wars fandom. These people struggle with the idea that a displeased customer base should be, condemned, should be ridiculed, should be, I'm not really sure what I don't know where this idea came from. It certainly is from the pits of hell. It certainly is from the brains, the shrunken NPC brains of SJWs that just don't understand that customers who are very, very, very unhappy probably shouldn't be called evil. I don't know if they did that in a 5 and dime store back in the 1800s. Is that a practice that instead of the customer is always right, the customer is often evil? The customer is often malevolent and toxic. Very, very, very strange. So we're seeing this. This is all for people who don't understand what's going on, for people who are not following the crisis and the rise of the fandom menace, our ironically chosen title. This is why it's happening. The reason why this is happening is that SJWs have invaded hobbies. Male-dominated hobbies like Star Wars and video games and comic books and Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40K and Pokemon and all of these other hobbies that mostly guys are into, card games, gaming. And they have started to belittle the fans, call them bigots, and take over, find their way into places of prominence, and then announce that fans are bigots and begin to make changes that enrage the fans. And that allows them to, again, say, see, we told you. Okay. So this is a cycle. This is an endless cycle. This gentleman, Matt Miller, he decided on the 1-year anniversary of the release of The Last Jedi to write an article, again, mocking the fans, calling the fans names. This guy, I don't know what this picture is of him. I like it, though. He looks like, he looks like he's in a red light district, and someone accidentally caught him on film. Don't worry, we're not gonna tell anyone, and I will delete that photograph. Don't worry, Matt. That's the impression that picture gives. I don't know why people choose the avatars that they do. I like my avatar, the laughing man, perfect. All right, but this is not funny. This is nothing to laugh about. Look at him. I called out toxic Star Wars fandom. Then they proved my point. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I myself, I poked a hornet's nest and called the bees inside a-holes, and then they proved my point by stinging me to death. They are a-holes. How does that work? Is that the way things work? You get to be hostile and cruel and rude and accusatory towards a group of people, and when they come back at you and criticize you in whatever way that they do, and all criticism is valid in its way. If they call you names or something like that in response to being called toxic, wow, they've proved your point. They're toxic. This is an interesting picture. I looked at this for a while. I was like, why did he choose this? These are Star Wars fans, ostensibly, but is this meant to kind of suggest a Hitler salute? They're pointing. I'm not sure, Matt. I'm not sure why he chose this. But the interesting thing about it is these are all basically these are Disney Star. That's Phasma right there. A lot of these are Disney Star Wars characters. Right there is that a mud trooper? What is that? I just got that stormtrooper action figure. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's Kylo Ren complete with the crack in his face. These aren't the fans that I think you were speaking of. I think these are compliant Disney Star Wars fans who are enjoying what Disney is doing with Star Wars, some of them, I guess, and good for them. I think they should be allowed to enjoy this stuff. I think that there's an audience for what Disney is doing. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like that audience includes us. So he wrote an article condemning the fans of the people who didn't like The Last Jedi. And in response, they criticized him, and here's him crying about it. Last week, I published an article titled, "The Year Star Wars Fans Finally Ruined Star Wars." I mean, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking that somebody, the year the customers ruined the business. Fantastic. In it, I very specifically discussed the loud section of Star Wars fans who have spent the year attacking the film, its director, and its actors with misogynist and racist online harassment. Now, I condemn misogyny and racism in all its forms. I don't really see any of that. What I do see is I see some very suspicious, what we call online ops. Often it goes by a different term, but I see operations. I see very peculiar, fake internet ops. I'm going to be doing a video about that very soon. It's going to be called Star Wars SJW Star Wars Fandom Scandal Part 4. You're going to learn a lot about what I'm speaking of here. Most of the fans are just saying, you know what, Rian Johnson's an idiot. This movie sucks. I used to like Star Wars. I don't like it anymore. It has been taken over by social justice warriors who insist on inserting their ideology into these films and then insulting the fans who reject it. And that is all true. It's all true. And it's all valid criticism, Matt. It's all valid criticism. I'm sorry if that ruins Star Wars, but it seems like that is the aftermath of other people who have changed Star Wars in a way that was not acceptable to the fandom at large. And so who actually ruined it? The people who did the things that upset the fans, or the fans who complained? Who actually ruined a dinner? The cooks, or the people? I always think about food, or the people at the table who returned it because it was unpalatable. Oh, you ruined that steak dinner because you returned it because it was way, way, way too salty and soy based, filled with soy. You returned that steak. You ruined it. You ruined that dinner. You finally ruined dinner. You misogynist and you racist. It seems like a lot of readers didn't read the article. I think that was probably the smart thing to do. And by the way, if they're readers, they didn't. Why would they have? That implies that they read the article. Or B, took this as an excuse to get angry online. People getting mad online. That sounds like you, Matt. Matt, you were mad online. You wrote the article. You took the anniversary of The Last Jedi as an excuse to get mad online and denigrate the fans and call them Nazis. We see what you're doing, etc., etc. And then we use profanity. We use profanity in an article on Esquire about Star Wars. This is a typical SJW maneuver. So we automatically, sadly, get to realize that Matt is an SJW. Look, because holy shit, these people went absolutely batshit crazy. This sounds like Chuck Wendig. These people all sound exactly the same. That is why we call you NPCs. You are indistinguishable from one another. In the way that you talk, your senses of humor, the way you use profanity in a very kind of, mincing way to insult people. It's odd. I mean, by the way, men and women, you're all indistinguishable as NPCs. You all write the same way. You all use profanity. You're all vulgar. You're all smarmy. And hostile, extremely hostile. And then we go on to find it hilarious. I find it hilarious. That's the other thing. They want you to think that they are laughing. This man was not. This man was not laughing. He didn't find it hilarious. He was shivering in pain when he wrote this article. By the way, that's a nice watch. Yeah, I'm in the market for a new watch. I had to keep my eye open. Shivering in pain. That people can get so worked up over a family-oriented sci-fi film that they'll say some truly unhinged shit online. Now, this is the other disingenuous thing that SJWs and Star Wars do. They call Star Wars, it's a kids movie. It's for selling kids toys. It's for children. It's a family-oriented sci-fi film. That's fascinating. Then why are you trying to imply in these children's films that Lando Calrissian, excuse my vulgarity, fucks his robots? And by the way, I edit out my curses. I am not an NPC. But it's F and then 4 dashes because it's pluralized. It's an active verb. So F dash 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 dash. If it's a family, franchise, it's for kids, as you imply. Why is there so much perversion in it at the hands of these social justice warriors who have taken over the franchise, who are writing? I mean, now these scripts used to be written by incredibly articulate, smart, brave, funny, talented people who created wonderful escapist adventure. Now these things are being written by their children who have. Well, talent isn't always hereditary. Frank Sinatra Jr. It doesn't always follow the line, So it's not necessarily a great idea to let sometimes it is. Oftentimes, though, it is not. So this guy, again, is it family oriented or is it for adults? If it's for kids, why are the toys? Why did I just pay $800 for a Jabba the Hutt toy? Is Jabba the Hutt for a 3-year-old, or is that Jabba the Hutt toy for an adult who has a job and who has disposable income enough to buy an $800 Jabba the Hutt toy? And by the way, where is my Jabba the Hutt toy, Sideshow? Send it over here so I can review it. They said that it's going to come in January. I can't blame. I'm late on Cyberfrog. It's okay. Delays happen. All right. So unhinged shit online. I've never seen any unhinged shit online. Not from my friends. Not from the Fandom Menace. I do see it from Chuck Wendig. I do. Occasionally I see it from Pablo Hidalgo, but he's tamped it down a little bit. He says, I also found it hilarious. These people want to imply that they're laughing. They're not. They're not laughing. They're upset. They're scheming. They're planning. They're responding. They're strategizing how to respond to criticism that exposes them. That's basically what SJWs do. Mockery is their tool. It's also my tool, Matt. So don't mind me when I find you hilarious that you wrote a second article about this. And also got into a fight on Twitter with a 14-year-old girl, which was very, very strange. In any case, we'll leave that aside. I also found it hilarious that at least two different people spent time to make 30-minute videos discussing my article. Well, make that 3. I'm gonna spend. Well, is it gonna be? I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys. I'll try to wrap this up in 20 minutes. It's not really that important, but Matt. People like to talk. YouTube it allows people to converse and to get their thoughts all out there. And not only that, the algorithm demands at least a 10-minute video. So if you can't talk about a topic for at least 10 minutes, we don't make videos about it. There are some people who are like, why did that video need to be 20 minutes? Well, because I chose the topic because I could expound upon the subject matter for 20 minutes. I don't make videos based on questions that I can answer with a single word. That is the thing. Your articles were goofy and infuriating and sad and weird, and thus great commenters like World Class Bullshitters, SC Reviews. Who else wrote? Doomcock wrote about you. These guys can talk about you all day long, and it's fun, and they're funny and entertaining, and people find you hilarious. People find their videos hilarious when they're making fun of you. They do. Matt, they think it's funny. Matt, they think a large portion of people, probably more people than read your article, will watch these videos. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. They'll watch these videos and they'll laugh at you because you're so ass mad over people being upset over Star Wars. You're ass mad. You are butt blasted over people who didn't enjoy Star Wars: The Last Jedi and who are still talking about it because Star Wars is an important part of their lives. And we have to just kind of say and check you out. Look, it goes. Look, he says I didn't watch either. But one was made by some person named Doomcock, Lord Doomcock. A legitimately good name, I'll admit, who speaks with some sort of Darth Vader voice effect and looks like a low-rent Phantom of the Paradise. What is is this going to be porn? I don't know what Phantom of the Paradise is. I click the link, and nothing happens. I click the link, and alas, oh wait, is it? It's YouTube. It can't be porn, right? From 1974. Oh, wait. Alright. Got it. That's fine. Where did now I'm looking at... Alright, as you can see. Again, people don't believe it when I tell them my daughter grabs my iPad and runs away with it all the time. Alright, let's get back to this. Alright, so... and by the way, 2-year-olds can just use iPads. They're very intuitive. It's amazing. Other responses to me were less eloquent. Most of these tweets told me to kindly fuck off, bitch. Well, I think that was appropriate. And eloquent, I think it got the job done. You didn't kindly fuck off, though. You didn't, bitch. They called me an SJW, which you are. A shill. God, how I wish I were making that Disney money. It's not that much. Disney offered me a job in 2D animation one time back in 2004, right before Disney Animation closed down. Was it 2002, 2003? It was right after I left Marvel. I was thinking about getting out of comics, so I took an interview in Orlando at Disney, and the pay was pitiful. It was awful. I think I was going to be working on Lilo and Stitch, and I just said I can't afford to live like this. I can't. They can't. They couldn't afford me. It's not that much money, Matt. I'm sure. I'm sure that Esquire pays you more than Disney would, but it's not about Disney money. It's about just being in the know. It's about Disney keeping you on their good list, giving you access. That's what shills do. Shills want access. Shills want tips. Shills want to be invited to red carpet premieres and hang out, rub shoulders. That's what you get. Sometimes you get money. There are critics who do receive a paycheck. That obviously is not you, but maybe you will get to meet David Prowse. I don't know. Maybe you'll get to meet Pablo Hidalgo. Dare to dream. All right, so they also called you a whipped little boy. Could be trying to get in on the feminist world. Ew. They've asked how many penis. Okay, got it. I don't actually understand that one. In my comments, think about it. In my comments, I learned what the term NPC means. It's a new pro-Trump insult. No, it's a new anti-SJW insult. Normal people, don't like NPCs. They don't like SJWs. They notice that you all talk alike, you all behave alike, you all say the same things, believe the same things. You're all, like I said earlier, you are all indistinguishable from one another. I wish it wasn't true. I wish there was some variety in NPCs so I could speak to you differently. But I can't. I have to speak to you all the same way because you all speak to me the same way. Other people, normal people don't. Normal people have their own personalities. They haven't been programmed by Joss Whedon, movies and television shows for their dialogue. They don't all think that Orange Man bad, etc., etc. But it's interesting. Pro-Trump. Other people hate you too. I mean, definitely all people who voted for Trump are smarter and more. Not all are smart. Well, are they? They all have souls. The people who voted for Trump have souls. I think NPCs don't really have souls or hearts or individuality. I don't know. In any case, programmed bot that regurgitates progressive talking points. That's what an NPC is, right? More or less, it's a non-player character. They said I was one of the crazy misandrist. That means that you hate men. SJW hags who hate men. So there's a lot of redundancy and then something that contradicts itself here. Because you wouldn't be a hag if you're a man? You would be a hag if you're a third wave feminist. Third wave feminists are hags, not like soy boy male feminists. They claim Kelly Marie Tran's online harassment was actually faked by Disney. Hold on to your boots for that one. Hold on to your tighty whities for that one. I'll be talking about that in my next video. They called for me to get fired. Well, what's new? You people call for everyone to get fired. So I don't mind. I don't mind if that is returned. You should get fired for this. This is stupid. These are two stupid articles. They're two self-indulgent, vain articles from an idiot who thinks he's smarter than he is. You probably should. I mean, not based on your politics or just, based on the fact that you're dumb. You're a dum-dum. It's truly a bunch of absurd, shit. And it's exactly what I was talking about. The fandom has become toxic. Well, or the fandom hated Star Wars The Last Jedi and is tired of the excuses and is tired of being called names for not falling into line and accepting what was clearly an exploitative movie made by grifters at Disney. And it is a grift. I mean, these people, it's a scam. It is a scam when they've taken over and infiltrated a movie franchise like Star Wars and are using it now to sell their own personal, I would say, toxic, obnoxious, unwanted, far leftist, extremist, radical ideology. Right? That is something. They don't want that. They are going to complain about it. And when you call them names in return, and then they say, no, F you. When the conversation is F you, and they say F you, and then you say no F you, and then they say no F you, there isn't one individual who is toxic there. There is an oppressive, powerful corporation, entertainment corporation that is, ignoring the customers and ignoring their wishes and being rude to them. My article points to the racist campaign against The Last Jedi. It was faked, and specifically calls out the far-right movement that attempts to control the narrative and conversation surrounding Star Wars. It's not far-right, it's just fairly moderate. But I mean, things seem far-right to extremists. Hey, this video may get to 30 minutes, Matt. Plenty of fans agreed with my article, but even more took it as an excuse to get mad online. I got a lot of this. I'm not a racist. I just didn't like Star Wars The Last Jedi. My goodness, these people just demanded that you acknowledge their humanity and basic inherent goodness. And look at this. I don't care if you hated Space Vegas. See, you're demeaning the movie that people... All right. I don't care if you thought Luke's characterization was wrong. I don't care if you hated Kylo's shirtless scene. We don't care that you don't care. We don't care. We don't care how you feel about anything, really. We're annoyed that you're calling people names. All right, let me see here. I'm not talking about you. I very clearly differentiate between fans who dislike the film for legitimate creative reasons. That's everyone. And the fans who piled on the film because they don't agree with Lucasfilm's casting of non-white actors and some of its progressive themes. Okay, hold on, break this up. Progressive themes? Sorry, that's valid criticism. Get your stupid politics out of Star Wars. As for casting of non-white actors, I don't see that. Okay, I'm right in the heart of Star Wars criticism. I don't see very much, if any, people who are legitimately saying, you hired a black guy to be a stormtrooper. You hired, Asian woman to be Rose Tico. We don't really see too much of that, honestly. That's in your heads, and I honestly think that SJWs were hoping for that. They were hoping for that kind of a reaction, and that's not what they got. Instead they got genuine, critique and anger over this thing here, progressive themes, and poor storytelling, and a bad handling and reading of the characters that we have been thinking about for 35 years. That's what they got, and they're disappointed with the criticism that they received. They were hoping for this kind of criticism. They were hoping for racist criticism. They didn't get it. They got honest criticism, and now that's why they are upset. All right, fans are welcome to dislike The Last Jedi for you can't. This is arrogance. This is pure arrogance. We're not asking for your permission to dislike The Last Jedi for legitimate filmmaking reasons or for any reasons whatsoever. You are just a dude named Matt who was about to get fired from Esquire.com for being an idiot. We don't care how you feel about it. To an extent, that is. I mean, calm down. No. What is not fine is the pervasive online harassment of actors like Kelly Marie Tran. Haven't seen it. Who was driven off social media because of racist and misogynist attacks. There's no proof of that. Zero proof of that. She never said that. The response to this article demonstrated that there's a core section of the Star Wars fandom that is rotten. It's rotten. They were mean to you, Matt. Matt, you were mean to them, and they were mean to you in response. They are rotten to the core. And it's amplified by pervasive social media harassment and far-right vocal abusers. Anyway, thanks for proving my point, trolls. Well, Matt, I don't know what your point is. Was your point that being extremely arrogant and dismissive and rude to a fan base is going to get you bitten? People are going to be mean to you in response. People are going to be critical of you and call you names. Was that your point? You proved your point. You proved your point. I think that if I chose to go after fans of My Little Pony today and call them all kinds of names, call them toxic, tell them they're stupid, I would probably receive a whole lot of abuse, what I would consider to be abuse, because I am pure as the driven snow. I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was attack a fan base of My Little Pony, and look what happened. They threw stuff right back over the wall at me. Terrible. They're toxic. My Little Pony fans are toxic. Matt, We are going to continue to be critical of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We're gonna be critical of articles that you write about Star Wars. It's just what we're gonna do here. It's fun. It is a fandom. We do care about this franchise very, very much. We think it's being poorly handled. We think that it's also being mismanaged on a social media level. Even yesterday, they sent out a call for a new social media manager at Lucasfilm, and they said they wanted only people of color. They wanted minorities. That's weird, Matt. That's weird. We'll continue to be critical of it, and I guess you can continue calling Star Wars fans toxic as they continue to bankrupt Lucasfilm's section of Disney. I mean, I don't know how many more movies Disney's going to let them make at an $80 million loss, but keep up this kind of rhetoric on behalf of Disney, and we're going to keep handing you L after L after L after L, because that's what the fandom menace is going to do. We demand better, we demand respect, and we want it now. Star Wars 9 right around the corner. Let's have something better.
Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there.
Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're going to look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the Laughing Man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.